Hi everyone, this is Melanie. I wanted to share something with you. I know, normally I do my interviews and, in show format, but I just been thinking about this for probably give or take a week, and today I saw someone who conjured up some memories. And this message is for the African American community, the Black community. And first, I'll share a story with you, and then we'll get right to the message. When I was growing up, I lived on Homestead Street, and Homestead Street is in Baltimore City. It's off of Harvard Road, and in that um, community, we had an Oriental store, and we had, and I'm trying to remember as I say this, but we definitely had an Oriental store. We had a black store, and we had a white store, and then we had another store, which is a black store. It was kind of like in the center of the community. So when I was growing up, my grandmother and my mother will often send me to the Oriental store. Um, I don't know why, and I guess as I'm a grown woman now, I'm 40 years old now, and I'm just like thinking back, because I often wonder what has happened to the black communities, what happened to the strength in the black communities. And I think about my grandmother who played lottery, and her main things were if anybody was going to the store, they were going to get her lottery tickets, which she went to the white store, which was on Harvard Road, her Pepsis, which she would send me to the Oriental store um, to get her Pepsis and her cigarettes. And I can honestly say, as I'm, trying to conjure up more memories, that we didn't patronize the two black stores enough. And I think if I had to scale it, I would say that because my grandmother played lottery every single day, and because she smoked probably a pack of cigarettes every single day, I probably would go to the Oriental store, and I would go to well, I couldn't go and play the lottery, but I would walk with her to play the lottery down at the other corner store, which was called Sam's Liquor Store on Huff Road. And now that I'm older, I'm like questioning that, and I'm thinking like, um, for I don't know why or what was her reasoning or whatever, especially for the cigarettes and the Pepsis, why she would send me to the Oriental stores. Um, but I can remember at the same time that my mother would send me to um normally it would it would probably be the black store that was I think I can't remember the name of the street, but I know it was close to the firehouse. We had a firehouse over there, and it was on the corner. And if I had to choose on my own, I think I chose to go to what we call the alley store. And there's a story behind the alley store. The alley store was owned by one of the community members, the Richardsons, and the Richardsons, they owned that store, and for the kids mainly, we would go to what we call the alley store. I'm pretty sure it was called um, Richardson Groceries or something like that. But we were, you know, if we had the choice, my friends and I, we would go to the alley store, and I think it was because we were friends with one of one of the Richardsons. And I don't know, we just chose to go to the alley store. And I remember, I know a lot of times if I had to choose, I would go to the alley store, or I will go to the other black owned um, store. I don't know why, but we just did. I think number one, the other black store was kind of like on the way to school, kind of like we could make it on the way to school. So, maybe that's why we went. But I say that story to say that I, again, I'm 40 years old. God is willing, I'll be 41 this year. But when I think about the state that our communities are in, our black communities, when I think about the state that they're in, I just have to think back to, times like that, what made a lot of our, what we call mom and pop stores, what made them kind of diminish, and what made them not be successful, and what made them not be successful is us patronizing them. So, and it's just sad because, now that I'm 40 and you understand some things, you see some things, and it's a shame. It's a shame. I don't know if the Richardson story is still, um, up, in business today. I don't know if the other black stores up in business today, but this is what happens to our businesses. This is what happens within our communities. We often allow people from other nationalities, people from other countries come in and just holistically take over. And then we sit around and we look at generation after generation after generation, and we're wondering, like, why, are we in the condition that we are in? We're not in a real, a bad condition, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword because we are, when you're talking about economics and when you're talking about building generational wealth, we really are. We are like, at the bottom, and it's really sad. To me. And I think for me, the more that I understand about our culture, the more that I understand about, um, coming, well, not coming, but being forced to come to America, and to live under, really the foot of America. I understand, um, that there are definitely some many elements that are against us, but at the same time, where does the mindset come where we don't support our own? We often, if we had to choose, we would, if there was a Oriental store and white store and the black store would be the last one that we, patronize. And I often wonder, like, where does this come from? And I know where it comes from. It comes from the fact that we were brought here to be slaves. And, to be a slave, it's not only a physical thing, it's definitely a mental thing, and it's definitely a spiritual thing. So, when a person is enslaved, that means their body, mind, and soul is enslaved. And that is where we are as a people. That's where we are, unfortunately. And I'm thinking about even back then, and we're talking about at least uh 30 plus years, and I'm thinking about the mindset of my grandmother, who was born in, I think, the 1950s. Like, it had to been a breakdown long before my mother's generation, and there had to been a breakdown, of course, long before my generation, because I would think that their mindsets would be to patronize the Richardsons and patronize the other black store, but it really was not. It really was not, and it just today, it just makes me think that, oh my gosh, we have a long way to go, and our businesses will never ever flourish, because at the end of the day, we have to think, who are the ones that will patronize a black business? And it will probably be the majority. 90% or better will be black people. But the flip side of that, um, all of us, including myself, we patronize other nationalities, other cultures, other, you know, other businesses other than our own. And it really is, sad. And today, who did I run into? One of the Richardsons, Daryl Richardson, who, if I remember correctly, was a cousin of the girl that I played with. And, like, their family owned that store. And so I'm just like, wow. And I didn't even have I really wanted to know, but I didn't want to know. But what I wanted to know was, was that store still, um, open in the community? And it's probably not. It's probably not, because again, we don't take the time to really uh, support our own. And when you think about our community, as a whole, we have so many talents. We have so many entrepreneurs that are within, and we have, so many successful people, and it just makes me kind of sad that, that we're not as far as that we could be, collectively. But again, I understand the mindset behind that. I understand the reason why. I wish I could undo um the reason, and I know as plenty of other people wish that they could undo um the reasoning behind it, because it really is sad. One thing that I know is that there have African American businesses that are thriving. Um, we as a community still do not uplift that business. We as a community do not 100% patronize that business. And the one thing that I've heard, and I've heard probably all my life, is can't trust black people. Black people are, or their prices are too much, or this or that, really frivolous reasons. But the reasons are there because that is what's been drilled in our heads. It really has been drilled in our heads from this the when kings and queens and doctors and teachers and lawyers were taken from Africa. The first thing that, well, one of the first things that they did was, they said, listen, the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to get rid of your religion. That's number one. You are unclean. You're a savage. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make you understand that you are no longer your religion, your said religion, your homeland religion is no longer useful. You will follow this religion. And a lot of times, us being really spiritual people, we, our religion, our music, that is of us. That is something that has, um, that has kept with us after generation after generation after generation. So when you take um, our soul religion or our religions away from us, and that leaves us with a tag of, hey, you know we're unknown, or we don't we're made to believe that this is our new religion. So again, I understand the mindset, and along with stripping of religion and forcing one on, that means that you also have to think about the mindset, what that does to the mindset. So we are a people. It is not just religion. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. But for the sake of this video, we're gonna cut it really short. But I just wanted to say that I completely understand, but we have to understand that as indigenous people, that we can do a 180. We can do a 180. We can turn things around. We're so talented. We're so you know beautiful. We're so intelligent. It's just like amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. The more history I learn about Africans and Africa and where we came from, I'm just like more in love with it, like every single day, every single day. So, I just wanted to. I know I jumped around on a few points, but I really want people who have taken the time to look at this video just to understand that even though we have been brainwashed, even though we have been told that we can't do it, and it's been proven over a few times that we can't do it. It also has been proven many more times that we can do it. We can have businesses. We can patronize one another. We can hold up the ethic system and to treat our brothers and sisters, equally and fairly. We can. We definitely can. Again, the the we are the original people. I can't stress it enough. We are the original people. But I really want people to take away the message to support uh, black owned businesses. To support. We all know the tragedies. We all know the history, or you should know the history. And I'm not talking about the history that was taught to you. I'm talking about you should know our trials and tribulations. We do. I think we know that, but I think we don't know where we originated from. If we all knew where we originated from, then we wouldn't. Please, please. But anyway, guys, support your black owned businesses. Thank you for listening.